said the Lord, touch not the unclean thing, and you will receive it. Come out from among them. That no good friend that tell you, amen, it's okay to, amen, to drink a little something, amen. That's not your friend. Your friend tell you to do wrong, amen. You know, your friend tell you, come on, let's go out here, let's rob this person. That's not your friend. They tell you to do wrong and do dirty. That's not your friend, because your friend will never encourage you to do wrong, so that you can get in trouble, so that you can get locked up, so that you can murder someone. A real good friend would never tell you to do wrong. A good friend will tell you, you know what? This is not for you. Go to school. Get an education. You different. You're not like us. Amen. I remember I had friends. Amen. No, because I was that type of person. I was a rowdy person. Amen. I was a gangbanger. I was not, amen, in the street. Amen. So I used to have friends say, you know what? This is not for you. Amen. You're not like us. You're different than us. Amen. So you stay in school. You get your education, because this is not for us. See, this is for us. Amen. We this is our lifestyle. This is who we are. But this is not for you. So you say, see, and that's what. And a real good friend will encourage you. They ain't gonna lie to you and tell you to get in trouble. Amen. Knowing that your mama said, you know what? Don't do that. Amen. Don't go out there. Don't sell it. See, because you understand, amen, I don't know why children today don't want to listen to their mothers. Amen. Like we haven't been out there. Amen. Like we don't know the way. Like we haven't been around the way. Amen. It's the same game 20 years ago than it is today. All it is a different method. That's all it is a different method. Amen. They're doing just a little different, but the game never changes.
All right, right.
It's still the same game, and they feel like, you know what, you don't know nothing, mommy. Amen. It's not the same. It's still the same. The only thing that changes is the method. Amen. Amen. People was getting in trouble 20 years ago. People were shooting and stabbing, all that kind of stuff 20 years ago. Amen. Now they just, amen, they got gangs now. Amen. They had gangs. They had, amen, but they had the gang wasn't the way it was today. Amen. We used to, amen, the games back in the days, amen. You know how we didn't kill nobody, we fought with our hands. Amen. Today they're using guns. Amen. Back in the day, amen, when somebody didn't like you came against somebody, you use your hands and you live to see another day. Today, amen, they're using guns, amen, they're killing their brothers and sisters, amen, and they're not living to see another day. Amen. And guess what? The one that's doing the killing, don't you know? You heard of a word called karma? The Bible will say, amen, what you do in the dark will come out in the light. Amen. The Bible will say eye for eye, tooth for tooth. Whatever you done to somebody else, don't you know there's a consequence for every wrongdoing that you're doing? Amen. Don't you know if you murder somebody, if you don't change your life, amen, guess what will happen to you one day? Amen. Your table will turn if you don't change, amen, for the better. If you don't live for the better, table will turn. One day, that same bullet that you used to kill somebody else will be used right against you. If you don't change your life. If you don't correct yourself, if you don't give your life to, because you got some people, amen, that murdered somebody and gave their life to the Lord, and guess what? They were spared. I know I'm teaching right. Yes, you are. I know I'm teaching right. But he said, come out from among them and be ye separate. Be ye separate. You are different. Amen. You're not like everybody else. You have a calling on your life. You are destined. The Bible let me know that he formed you. He shaped you in your mother's womb. That's why something I understand. Sometimes, amen, that's why you can't. That's why sometimes you can't. You'll always be the one that get caught. Your friend don't get caught, but you get caught. Ain't that strange, amen? You done something wrong, amen, and you the one that get caught, and nobody, and they run away and they scot free, but you get caught. Because God has something on your life. Amen. Amen. Or your friend has success and you failed and you don't have no success. Amen. I just to wonder what's going on. Why my friends that have success and I can't go nowhere. I can't get up for no apparent reason. Amen. Every time I make one step, I fall back two. And I wonder what's going on. My friend has success and I can't have success because God had a call on my life. Feel like he had a call on your life. That's why you get caught and anybody else is going to run scot-free. But he said, come out from among them and be ye separate. Revelation 18:4 said, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her pleasures. It's time to call out some things. Amen. Time to call out a lust. Amen. Time to call out a bitterness. Sometimes we have bitterness in our heart because what somebody else done to us. Amen. Because what we've been through. Amen. Because, amen, we have a past relationship. Amen. Sometimes we need to call it out. Amen. Because, amen, that's why sometimes you can't get free because you're bitter what somebody else done to you. It's time to call out unforgiveness and call out addictions from alcohol and drugs and sex and homosexuality. Amen. Because don't you know you see a lot of homosexuals now. Amen. Men turning to gays and women turning to lesbians. Amen. It's running rapid. It's like an epidemic now right now. Amen. Every time you turn around, amen, especially when they made that law, amen. So when they made a law, amen, that it was okay, amen, that same sex to get married. Amen. You see them the next day, like thousands and thousands of people going to City Hall to get married. Come out of the closet. They do something. But you need to call it out. Amen. Because sometimes, amen, I understand. Sometimes people go through things, they've been molested, amen, they've been raped, amen, and that's why they, amen, they go on that lifestyle, amen. But you got to come out. It's time to call it out. Call out lust. You have to know it's there. You can't see you were never free. You never can be free if you never know it's there. Amen. That's why you're still bitter. Amen. And you're going to stay bitter. And guess what? When you're bitter, amen, when you have this, your vision is not clear. Your judgment is not clear. You will never make the right decision in life because of the bitter. Because of unforgiveness. You can't make the right judgment when you're in sin. Because sin is blocking your flow. Tell the devil, don't block my flow.
Don't block my flow.
It's time to be free unto death. Bitter, come out. Amen. You gotta call it out. Bitterness, you can't live in me no more. Unforgiveness, you can't live in me no more. For what time had done unto me, I don't care. You know what? For me to be free unto their time, amen, you can't have my life no more. Because I want to be free. Because I want to change for the better. Susie, you can't have me no more because I want to be free. I don't like this being bitter. When you can come face to face with your sin, that it easily beset you and stop lying to yourself that nothing is wrong when something's really wrong with you, and other people see it, is when you can be free. When you come face to face with bitterness. When you come face to face with your addiction. Amen. When you come face to face with whatever you're going through, amen, is when you can be free. When you recognize that, you know what, I don't like where I'm going. And I don't like to be bitter no more. I don't like to be in malice. I don't like to be angry anymore. I want to come out. Wow. You can't live here no more. They used to sing a song. You can't live here anymore. It was an old obvious song. You don't live here anymore. In the Tennessees, you don't live here anymore. Something like that. Hey man, I used to hear the song. I used to love the song. That was one of my favorite songs. You know, that's what you need. You don't live here anymore. Yeah. Because I'm coming face to face with you. Jeremiah 17 said, then will I cause you to dwell in this place, and the land that I gave to your fathers forever and ever. Amen. I hear the sound of victory. Until that, I hear the sound of victory. Victory over your life, victory over your flesh, victory over your health, victory over your relationship, victory over your finances. Amen. Because a lot of us want to be free from debt. Amen. Got in debt, we got in trouble, our finances all jacked up to the floor up. Amen. We our credit so bad, we sign up for a credit card, they deny us, let solid go. Amen. They walk into a bank to buy a house. Amen. Like, oh no, but sorry, I don't. They know, they see you when you come. I'm sorry, you rejected. Amen. Victor, but I hear victory over your finances. Amen. Will you able to, amen, have good credit because you, amen, prepare your